Good afternoon, everybody.
Morning, guys.
Joe here.
Kevin.
Right. Last week's episode was very necessary to see CJ's first day, essentially.
Yeah, it was.
You
It
know?
was really. Yeah, for sure. It was really nice to see like the the reality of how difficult that kind of transition would be.
Yeah.
Almost
Awesome.
impossible. While she's really smart, she knows policy. She's very aware of everything that the administration is doing.
Yeah.
It's still not enough.
Sink or swim.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And as she even said in the show, kind of gives you an appreciation for what Leo and every other White House chief of staff has had to do.
That was my big takeaway from last week was we did not appreciate Leo.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought it ended really appropriately where she's like, do I have anybody that can help me on any of this? And they're like, you have the whole staff.
Yeah.
You're running the White House. You are the chief of staff. And so she's just started delegating better.
Yeah.
And obviously is also what Leo had to do. It's impossible to do everything yourself.
That could almost be its own show.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Somebody come into that role and really figuring out the tools that she has at her own expense. And I hope we do get more of it, though.
Sure.
I wanted to be green at this for a while because I think that's really interesting to see her, find her own footing.
Yeah, for sure.
And really get things figured out.
Yeah, it's not an easy task. But again, it's going to be a quicker transition, I feel like, because CJ knows everything the administration's doing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the Situation Room. It's going to be interesting to see her in because obviously Leo's a military man. It's a totally different experience from what she's going to. Yeah, for what she's going to experience. And I look forward to it.
I want to see her spar with Hutchinson more.
Last thing I want to mention, Jimmy Smits.
Yeah.
He's in the opening. He's in the title crawl now.
Yep. So somebody said we should not look at the title crawl for a while.
Okay, because we're going to be some changes.
Some changes.
Good.
So basically, while the title sequence is happening, we'll just kind of have to look.
We'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk.
We can talk about it.
Right. Because I'm just used to looking at it, and then when the show starts, like the guest stars, I never read that because usually, I mean, one, I don't want to, and two, I'm focused. The story started, right? I'm focusing on the narrative.
So this would be tough for us to kind of just look over here while that's happening.
I thought about it. I was like, the only reason that he, as a congressman, a resigning congressman, would be on the show is that he is going to be someone who runs for president.
I think so.
You know what I mean? I don't know if he's going to be like the Democratic candidate because you still have Bob Russell and 10 other people that are going to.
Who we need to see? We haven't seen Bob in a while,
right?
But I think you're right. Honestly, I mean, we talked about it briefly last week. We're like, is that a possibility? I think it makes sense.
It does. I mean, it's it's kind of like CJ being the press secretary moving into chief of staff.
Yeah.
That's not a common move. Who cares?
Sure.
It works for the show. Jimmy Smits being a resigning congressman that wasn't in Congress very long, becoming a serious presidential candidate. Also, not something that happens a lot. Not a lot of House of Representatives people. I mean, people have tried. Michelle Bachmann was a candidate.
Yeah.
And crazy. But it's not outside the realm of possibility for it. But again, don't look at the title crawl.
Nope, because looking at it.
Well, because we are having a lot of shakeup, right?
Yeah.
Charlie might be leaving. Donna might be leaving. Leo's definitely leaving, right? There might be a new press secretary. I don't know if Kristen Chenoweth is joining the cast full time, but she might be. So we'll
talk about the Toby situation during the title sequence.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to get started here, folks. We do want to thank our Patreon subscribers who are here with us and give a special thank you to Actuarial Lurker, Balash Foldes, Chris, Derek Peterson, Jeff, Christy Goverson, NJ, Sudhu Gundavarapu, Torgir Linkstad, Weird Magic, Where Panda 47, and Jamie Morgan. Thank you so much, guys. We are really, really glad you're here with us.
Yes, we are. And if you're watching us on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel. If you might hit the like button for us, please leave us a comment down below and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the content we've coming your way.
If you would like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else that we have watched or we are currently watching, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page. On every show, including The West Wing, we are at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we're on YouTube. You will have to sync and watch along on your own source material. You will only see us for copyright purposes. Yes.
Thinking about a Prius? Great car.
And with gas prices at an all-time high?
They're not, actually. Adjusted for inflation, gas was $2.80 a gallon in today's money.
Well, we've gone way past that since.
We have, yeah.
Can I drive that?
Oh my God. Kind of way different.
Yeah, the opposite
of a message, right?
Exact
yeah.
opposite.
Prius. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thanks.
As he hops into this car.
Yeah.
Mr. Lyman. All set.
Yeah. Not a good look, homie.
Anyways,
Yeah.
afternoon.
I'm judging you for this giant SUV.
It's a good thing I didn't mention that guy. He was the
Right.
White House.
I'm the deputy chief of staff at the White House.
This is way cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of machine.
What?
Hang on.
Oh my God, Josh! Did he just hit somebody? He hit the Prius.
He hit the Prius. I hope that ends up on the news.
You know, definitely, it's got
Right.
All right, so we're not going to look.
Right, yeah. So Josh Lyman just used a giant SUV to obliterate a
Prius.
Prius at a car lot.
There's a metaphor there, maybe.
Right, yeah. The look of that, the symbolism of that is not going to look great.
It's funny because I was like, yeah, thank God he didn't tell that guy he worked at the White House. Well, now he's going to have to, yeah.
Right, yeah.
What kind of insurance do you have?
It's-
The best kind. So I wonder if largely this is going to be our episode focus. Josh,
Yeah.
this guy.
Well, it's definitely going to be something that the headache that Toby has to deal with in the press conference and CJ might have to deal with.
I'm wondering if he's going to exchange ideals with this guy who bought the Prius. You know what I mean?
I don't even know if he's going to be around.
Sure.
Your weekend.
You know, boring.
Wreck the car.
Will the president sign the omnibus transportation bill?
No
without
one's
that
there.
I can't speculate on an amendment that hasn't been voted for.
They're just avoiding him.
You cannot be in here.
Toby is killing us.
He won't engage.
We do not do this anymore. You really have to leave.
We get nothing to file.
Now, and I say this with love. Get the hell out of my office.
With love.
Yeah.
We miss you.
Mine sniffing rats?
The Gambian giant pouch rat. You hit a Prius with an SUV?
What happened to training dogs?
Dogs get bored.
Sniffing for landmines? These are some jaded pooches.
Hubbard was a geologist who predicted pretty much right on the money when U.S. oil production would peak and then decline. Meaning within the lifetime of kids today, oil production will plummet.
I just wanted to drive a Hummer once.
And whether we've ever fought one over it up till now, the next war will be about oil.
The House just defeated the Cafe Standards Amendment.
Already?
They limited floor debate to 20 minutes.
Where are we on finding a new press secretary?
Getting up to speed?
Time for a turbo boost. No one, and I don't mean this unkindly, no one is anxious to have you keep briefing.
And he's stalling.
I'm crafting.
They're just remarks.
People listening won't know they're just remarks.
Mr. President, I wanted to remind you about the reception in the East Room today.
What?
The girls' national field hockey champions. Charlie.
I'll get him there.
Thank you.
I'm noticing a distinct slackening of awe, a certain lack of trembling in my presence.
Yeah.
You're all getting too casual.
Right.
How did she get this?
Someone at the dealer, I guess.
Car crash.
Not the end of the world, it says.
Not yet.
No. It's going to get some traction.
Yeah.
CJ's office. No.
You didn't think it was a story.
The press is going to have a party with this. Conga lines, pinatas.
They'll have fun and be done in a day.
I just got a phone call from the Alternative Energy Resources Council threatening to hold a press conference trashing our commitment to conservation, citing your little demolition derby as Exhibit A.
Maybe you shouldn't have test drove the SUV.
That was a bad idea.
Not counting today. Today was, I don't know what today was, but the briefings. Yeah, they're getting better. Good.
Does this president believe fuel efficiency standards should be raised?
We're dispensing with the small talk.
You rolled over.
We did the arithmetic. Any increase in cafe standards wasn't going to happen.
Josh, nobody thought we were going to win this one, but you've made it easy for them.
Seatbelts, airbags, the first fuel economy standards. The auto industry had to be dragged.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We don't just lose a vote. We lose out on a national debate.
And a pleasant good morning to you.
You find someone?
Slept extremely well. Thank you so much for asking.
I think she's remarkably short.
I think you're
Like
right.
under
Yeah.
5 feet. I think she is.
I've seen her like on red carpet events and stuff.
The sooner you get someone, sooner I can stop doing the briefings.
I told you, you're doing them for a while. It's a good thing.
Help me by doing the job you were hired for and find us a new press secretary.
She's in Will's old office?
I think so.
Look, we don't know each other that well, but if you ever want to talk,
Really nice,
I've been
actually.
around
Yeah.
the sort of thing you went through. I appreciate your concern. Okay.
There's a picture? You know what? Get this block
Oh my God.
You didn't think to mention someone had a camera?
It's like the
Not
worst
camera.
possible picture.
Well, there's a picture. This is Josh Lyman, and this is off the record. She's not. There may be more disreputable ways to make a living than trafficking and gossip in clandestine photos, but none spring to mind.
Oh my God.
I said this was off the record. She's not a journalist. You're gonna post this?
Oh my God,
She's
man.
posting it now.
Josh. Like, buddy.
Just keep digging, man.
I know.
Oh, Charlie's graduating.
Yeah.
A little bird
So took his swim test and
Yeah.
his other
Congratulations.
thing he had to finish.
You know what this means, right?
Yes, sir.
So is Charlie leaving the show? Is that what this is?
I really hope not.
I'm glad you told me.
I just hope he is.
I gotta get back to work.
Oh, she ratted him out. He was keeping it a secret.
Yeah.
Draft a release about the Alternative Energy Summit Josh is holding this afternoon.
That's not going to work.
Which I don't recall asking.
Refer questions to the Department of Metaphor. Put out a statement from the Undersecretary for Whimsy and Caprice.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
What?
How do you get one?
Excuse me?
Briefing the press is a seduction. You got a hot ex. How'd you get her?
Get out of my
Know
office.
what she says? That Mencken line this morning was funny. No one laughed because you flung it at them. Smart and funny. Seduced them. Worked on your wife.
We're divorced.
That's good.
Yeah.
She's so peppy. I love it.
Leo emailed me something about reminding the president to play chess.
He and Leo played weekly chess games.
How are you adjusting to the new job?
It's an adjustment.
No, I got to admit, I was surprised when I first heard. We all were. I work well with strong women.
Good to know.
My mother, strong woman.
It's up there with crime, boy.
I know. You know she's 10 times smarter than you, right?
Yeah, we're shopping for a Prius.
Just performing your own crash test. Your head said hybrid, but your heart said SUV.
Reptilian brains.
You've got a pretty tight relationship with Michael Hirsch, yes? Close enough to make a call?
For the vice president?
You're one of the few around here who doesn't regard him with disdain. It'd be great if you'd make a call.
Let me get back to you.
Sure.
I'm about to go into a meeting with the Commerce Secretary, presenting therefore a perfect opportunity for you to get started on a particular errand pertaining to your postgraduate career.
I love the relationship so
Yeah.
much. I love it. It's literally one of the best parts of the show.
For sure.
Did you know when we run out of oil, it'll precipitate a global food crisis?
Don't you start.
Fossil fuels are key components of fertilizers, the fuel used in farm machinery and for irrigation.
This is Gail Addison from the Office of Administration.
Hello.
She's here about changing over your office.
I'm sorry?
I'll have Margaret call you once I'm more settled in. Thanks.
Will asked me to call Mickey Hirsch. President Russell, you worry he'd win, I worry he'd lose. Republican administration. Hey, how do you get women? Huh? Smart and funny, plus I got that, boyish thing.
Do you think she's going to use his lines about the Department of Metaphor or whatever?
He'd be dumb not to, right?
What else?
The Cafe Standards Amendment went down.
That was fast.
Floor debate was limited to 20 minutes. Oh, sir, I'm sorry. Leo mentioned to remind you to play chess.
Please tell Leo when he's healthy enough to come back and give me a game. I'll be glad to school him at chess.
I don't know what's going on with the chess game, but it's big.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
The president and I had an understanding. Actually, it was more of an executive order. So I'm handing out resumes.
Great.
That I'd like you to ignore.
I understand. Here,
He probably could just join one of their staffs in a heartbeat.
That would keep him on the show.
Yeah.
Body language.
What about it?
Projecting comfort and command.
He does slouch. Just his hand.
Yeah.
So what do I...
Follow me.
Okay, good. I like this.
Nice.
I'd be happy to brief the vice president. How often?
Occasionally. There's the odd confusion, that's all. Sudan and Somalia. Iran, Iraq. He has a little trouble with the whole Shiite-Sunni thing.
We should start right away.
My God.
I've been waiting to have this meeting for 7 years.
Then let's get right to making up for lost time. If we could...
Ethanol works.
Wind now, Corinne McKenna.
Paul Tomensky, hydrogen.
She's on New Girl.
And I've been waiting a while for this.
But hydrogen is extremely flammable.
So is gasoline.
Okay.
Did she say flammable? She meant combustible.
Guys.
Oh, jeez. And we're off.
Does it matter?
I'll show you what you look like up here.
Thanks, helpful.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was a great shot.
Okay, you look like you loathe this.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
You're literally hunching over. You need to lean back.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Like a poodle in a dog show.
Good afternoon. I can't do this.
You're gonna have to.
Yeah.
You are going to have to.
You have to get past, I'll take your questions.
Yeah.
We could replace all the fossil fuels we're burning today simply by covering 220,000 square kilometers with solar cells.
There is a lot of dead space in Western United States.
For sure, yeah.
That covers Las Vegas.
Appropriately, the most wasteful energy abuser on the
Okay, that
planet.
is a pretty big. Can't you break it up and space them out, though? You don't have to be a solid square, does it?
Sure. I always thought it was interesting,
Yeah.
Hey, you.
My cypress.
Oh, Leo.
Yeah.
The arugula.
Ooh, with the pecorino and walnuts.
The salad.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Healthy,
I hope you didn't bring him takeout.
Prep Burger King.
So, how's it going?
It's overwhelming. How in the world did you manage it for 7 years?
I had a heart attack.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
You
Oh,
remind
God.
the president about playing chess?
You pretty much blew me off.
You have to insist. President gets regular physicals. And because of the
Oh,
MS,
okay.
rather more regular MRIs and neurophysical tests. As president of the United States, this needs to be monitored on a weekly basis.
You got to keep an eye on it.
Yeah. So these two guys, Leo and
Yeah.
Bartlett, they're just falling apart, aren't they?
Yeah.
Some claim it's not all that clean.
The EPA is certified it reduces carbon dioxide and hydrocarbon tailpipe emissions by up to 30%.
And climate dependent. Helps in cold weather, hurts in
It
hot.
consumes more fossil fuels to make than it replaces.
We dispute that.
All of us sitting here know exactly what the biggest thing is that ethanol has in its favor.
The Iowa caucuses.
The corn subsidies.
Yep.
I was back with a quick question.
You said a quick question?
Oh, sorry. This was Dolly Madison's desk.
Dolly with the knee Madison was maybe 5'3".
Yes.
He's like 6'2".
Yeah.
Of course.
Charm and disarm.
You can do it.
I'm pretty sure he's going to drop one of her jokes.
I hope so.
Well, what today's vote reflected.
Stand up.
Yep. Up.
Isn't this hastily convened task force just an attempt totaling a hybrid?
Questions as to symbolism and the relative meanings thereof are the purview of the Department of Metaphor.
Nice. Yep. She's surprised.
We were outgunned today in Congress, but not outflanked.
She's great.
Yeah.
What a coach.
You're right.
So you could just file it or toss it or...
The president wants you to quit.
But like I said, I don't
And
actually...
you promised him once you graduated you would. If he'd handed me your resume, do you imagine I could ignore it?
Right.
Maybe I should just take this back.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have come in here. Come work for me.
I like that.
You're smart, responsible, you know the president. Why wouldn't I hire you? You'd be a stone's throw from the Oval. The president can't miss you if you haven't really gone.
Say yes. That's beautiful.
Why not? Yeah.
Can I think it over?
Not really.
Yeah.
I don't want to be good at this.
Don't worry, it was better. Good still a
Was
ways
better.
off.
Wind provides 1.27% of California's electricity.
From 13,000 turbines.
What happens when the wind doesn't blow?
Gee, I don't know what happens when the sun isn't shining. The Bartlett administration could restore U.S. leadership in wind power.
Say that.
We do a lot more of it now. Yeah.
there's so many.
So basically what we're seeing is even the renewable energy people can't make up their minds together.
Yeah, it's kind of a scary thought, isn't it?
Right.
What'd you want to tell me?
I got an interesting offer that you're pretty much responsible for.
Are you asking me on a date?
A thank you dinner.
Sure.
Man, she ended up being the queen of television, didn't she?
Elizabeth Moss?
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Really, nothing came out of it. Wind power turns out the churn from the turbines changes the weather on the ground.
It's back and forth, back
Yeah.
and forth, yeah.
Yeah, I heard one president say that wind turbines cause cancer.
I'm not
Yeah.
ready.
Is this who I think it is?
I do get angry over everything, cry over nothing, right down the list. Rejecting offers of help, that's on there too. I understand.
I'm glad we shouldn't talk to her.
Yeah.
How was your energy meeting?
It's pretty Darwinian. I don't know what we can announce other than the world's running out of oil, and in 20 years we're all going to starve to death, you know?
It's all economics. Why do the Saudis fight to keep oil prices from rising?
To discourage conservation.
And the development of alternative fuels?
Veto the omnibus transportation bill to demand the higher CAFE standards. Hummer sales had their best month ever this year. And Prius is expanding its production 50%.
Yeah, people don't buy Hummers nearly as much
No,
anymore.
you get a Prius right now.
Yeah.
A veto maybe nudges it a little closer.
And keep having those meetings.
Do they even make Hummers anymore? I don't think they have.
I don't know if any of my see on the road are new or not. I don't pay attention. I do know Cybertrucks are ridiculous.
Sir, this is Roger Quast from HUD. He was on the Stanford chess team. He's here to play a game with you. I've cleared your schedule for the hour. I spoke with Leo. You're going to play chess, Mr. President.
You heard the lady. Where do you think you're going?
Sir?
It's not like you don't enjoy it.
Right.
You're going to play me.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. And I mean, obviously I get creamed, so I would like, can we get somebody better?
I'm not great at chess, so.
I really have no clue.
He's going to help you. And I'll know if you're holding back, young man.
This episode ends with Bartlett flipping the chessboard.
Why does he win anymore? Be like John Hamm on 30 Rock when he decides he wants to go back to the bubble.
That was the B word.
Yeah.
I like this
I did
episode.
too. Yeah, this was a lighter episode.
Very much so. Yeah, I was going to say
than we're used to.
Just a much needed breath of fresh air. You know what I mean?
And we talked about the governor of California. We've talking about more presidential candidates who are going to run.
Important. We got Bob Russell in this episode.
Bob is definitely going to run. We knew that was going to be the case. But I don't know how that's going to go. Toby and Josh talked about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you really want Bob Russell to be the guy that walks away with the nomination?
I think the answer is clearly no.
Yeah, but then you have the other side, and Will's not wrong, and Toby brought it up. If the Republican wins, if you don't run, someone that can win it, like Bob probably could, you run the risk of Republican administration with the Republican Congress undoing everything that you've done for the last 8 years. So it's a tough line to walk.
And that's what the Jimmy Smits element of it is so interesting, because how good is this guy?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, is this going to be the guy? He's in the credits. That's why I'm like, I don't know.
Well, it doesn't mean he's going to be the guy next season. He could just be like one of the guys now. It would
be episode 5.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, knowing this show, I feel like it wouldn't be beyond them at all if there was a surprise, right?
Of course.
That we get all the way to the nominating process and it's somebody else out of left field. And Bob Russell is still absolutely not out of the question.
I mean, if it is Bob, though, that'd be kind of like, okay.
Right. Well, I mean, the show could very much go the route of Bob Russell is the nominee and the Democrat loses. The show doesn't have to end with a Democrat winning after Bartlett's gone.
Very true. And I want to see how they handle that element of it as well, the changing of the guard, so to speak. You know what I mean?
And we may be changing up, because I was thinking about Richie. What happens if the Republican that runs isn't a complete joke like Richie was?
And the Democrat is?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
What if it's somebody that, would be a more reasonable candidate? Because I was thinking when you said that, would this show end its 7-year run on a dark note to where somebody like Richie becomes president? I wouldn't think so. But what if the Republican candidate isn't someone like Richie?
Yeah.
What if it's Bob Russell against someone who is conservative but would make a much better president overall? Because, I
don't hate that idea.
No, because we've had Republicans on here who are admirable Republicans. The show doesn't just, look at
John
Goodman, Ainsley. Yeah.
John Goodman was great. Yeah.
Right. Just because somebody is not on the team that the show is, doesn't necessarily mean they're automatically going to be a bad person.
We're all on the same team.
Yeah. But I'm just saying,
for sure.
The show might not be saying that a Republican winning the presidency after this would be the worst thing in the world.
No.
If it's going to depend on the person.
And that'd be a very optimistic outlook too.
Sure. I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think if you had a show where it's Bob Russell and we all kind of come to, that may be the final theme of the show is it really doesn't matter party. It matters that the right person is in the position, because I think the show is very much setting up the fact that Bob Russell is not that guy.
It's gone out of its way.
Many times. We saw it again here.
Today.
I don't mind working with strong women. My mom was a strong woman.
I love strong
and
women.
I'm just like, you're an idiot. Just stop talking forever.
He is kind of a punchline now, isn't
he? He is, yeah.
Which
Gary Cole really is nailing that role, by the way.
Amazing. Every time I watch football on Paramount Plus, I see Gary Cole's new show. He's on NCIS now.
Oh, yeah, he does have one of those, doesn't he?
Just like Bob Russell.
Right.
They show that commercial all the time.
Yeah, I look forward to see where they're going with this.
Me too.
All right, we'll catch you in the next one, guys.
See ya.